participants, please take a moment to rename yourself with participant underscore your university
Recording in progress.
underscore your name. For all paper presenters, please rename yourself with presenter underscore your track underscore your university name underscore your name. For moderators, please rename yourself as moderator underscore your university name underscore your name. And for all committees, please rename yourself with committee underscore your university name underscore your name. Second, to reduce noise and sound problems, please mute your audio, but don't forget to turn on your video and use the virtual background. Third, you may want to drop your questions regarding the topics via the Zoom chat box. And last but not least, we want to remind you to fill the registration form on the link intip.in/attendance SCDS 2021.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are delighted to welcome you to the 6th International Conference on Soft Computing in Data Science 2021. First of all, we would like to introduce ourselves. My name is Maura.
And I, Sekar.
From the Department of Statistics, Institute Teknologi 10 November, will be the Master of Ceremony for today.
This conference aims to provide a platform for researchers and practitioners to share their research work and to create international research collaborations on leading-edge methods, and also addressing challenges, problems, and issues in soft computing, especially in data science and analytics. SCDS 2021 have invited great international and local keynote speakers who are academia or practitioners to share their knowledge and experience in the area of soft computing in data science. The theme for this year's conference is Science in Analytics, Harnessing Data and Simplifying Solutions.
The conference is organized by Institute for Big Data Analytics and Artificial Intelligence, University Teknologi Mara, with the collaboration of Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Science, University Teknologi Mara, Department of Statistics, Faculty of Science and Data Analytics, Institut Teknologi 10 November, Surabaya, Indonesia, and Research Nexus, University Teknologi Mara.
In collaboration with the University of Tennessee Knoxville, Big Data Institute, University of Oxford, Universitas Gadjah Mada, Kyushu Institute of Technology, Charles Sturt University, Chulalongkorn University, Liverpool John Moores University, Data Analytic and Collaborative Computing Group, University of Macau, Durban University of Technology, and World Federation Soft Computing. Also supported by the Prime Minister's Department, Department of Statistics Malaysia, Malaysia Digital Economy Corporations, Condatics, and Women in AI. It is an honor for us to introduce and welcome the keynote speakers for today. First, yang berbahagia Dato Sri Dr. Muhammad Uzir Mahidin from the Department of Statistics Malaysia. Second, Professor Dr. Guan-Hua Huang from the National Ming Tung University, Taiwan. And third, Professor Dr. Redpol Heri Kuswanto from Institut Teknologi 10 November, Indonesia. And also, we welcome all the presenters and participants from all over the world.
For a brief moment, we would like to invite you to hear the Malaysian National Anthem Negaraku and Indonesian National Anthem Indonesia Raya. Please, ladies and gentlemen, sit up straight.
Next, we would like to invite you to hear the hymn of University Teknologi Mara and followed by the hymn of Institut Teknologi 10 November.
Allah
Thank you very much. Now, without waiting any longer, let us hear welcoming speeches. First, please welcome Mr. Jerry Dwi Trijoyo Purnomo, PhD, as the chair of the conference to give a welcome speech. Please, Mr. Jerry, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Professor Dr. Muhammad Azhari as Rector ITS, Honorable Professor Technologist Dr. Rosiah Mohd as Vice Chancellor UiTM Malaysia, Honorable Professor Dr. Heri Keswanto, Director of Postgraduate Program ITS, Honorable Dr. Kartika Vidyasari, Head of Department of Statistics ITS, Honorable Prof. YBhg, Chairman of SGDS 2021, Honorable all keynote speakers, distinguished guests, all committees, and also all participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning. On behalf of University Teknologi Mara, UiTM, and Institute Teknologi 10 November, ITS, we would like to extend a warm welcome to all our honorable guests, keynote speakers, and participants of the 6th International Conference on Soft Computing in Data Science 2021, or SCDS 2021, with the theme Science in Analytics, Harnessing Data and Simplifying Solutions. The success of the SCDS 2015, SCDS 2016, SCDS 2017, SCDS 2018, and 2019 motivated the organizing of SCDS 2021. The SCDS 2021 here is a virtual conference due to the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak around the world. Knowledge sharing through virtual conferences, webinars, and workshops continues to ensure teaching and learning and research are delivered amid the challenges faced due to COVID-19 pandemic. SGDS 2021 continues to provide a platform for sharing on leading-edge analytical methods and also addressing challenges, problems, and issues in big data analytics and artificial intelligence. And we highly appreciate the great support from MDEC, Malaysia Digital Economic Corporation, Quantetics, MSDN BSD, Department of Statistics Malaysia, and WAI, Women in Artificial Intelligence. We also thank all honorary chairs and International Scientific Committee for your support and commitment in working with UiTM and ITS to be in the frontier of advancing knowledge in big data analytics and AI. We hope to have strategic partnership with universities and industries to strengthen our BDA initiative and actualize academic and research collaboration for the advancement in research to achieve the United Nations SDG. We are proud to and happy to have distinguished expert as our keynote speaker, yang berbahagia Profesor Technologist Dr. Rosiah Mohd as Vice Chancellor UiTM Malaysia, yang berbahagia Dato Sri Dr. Uzir Mahidin as Chief Statistician Malaysia, Profesor Dr. Guan-Hua Huang, Institute of Statistics National Yang Ming Chiao Tung University, NYCU Taiwan, Profesor Dr. Heri Keswanto from Department of Statistics ITS, Associate Professor Dr. Aiden Doherty from Oxford Big Data Institute, Oxford University, UK, Associate Professor Dr. Simon Fong from University of Macau, China, Professor Dr. Richard Milham from Durban University of Technology, South Africa, and Assistant Professor Dr. YBhg from University of North Texas Health Science Center, USA. We hope that the keynote session will add value to your knowledge and career, and may you establish further collaboration with our keynote speaker. We are delighted that this year, UiTM ITS joint collaboration has increased the paper submissions from a diverse group of researchers. We received 79 paper submissions, among which 31 were accepted, and these accepted papers are already available online. We would like to thank Professor Dr. Michael Berry, Professor Dr. Aslinah Mohamad, and Professor Dr. Jasni Muhammad Zain for their contribution as editors of SCDS 2021 proceeding, which will be published by Springer in the Communications in Computer and Information Science series. We gratefully acknowledge the wonderful support provided by all the technical reviewers who generously sacrificed their time for reviewing the papers. We greatly appreciate the dedicated support of our SCDS 2021 committees from both universities who have worked tirelessly to ensure a successful conference. We highly appreciate all those who have contributed directly or indirectly to the success of SCDS 2021. Last but not least, we wish everyone an enjoyable and memorable experience connecting online through SCDS 2021 virtual conference. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Jerry D. Trijoyo Purnomo, PhD, for the enlightening speech. Next, we would like to invite Professor Dr. Insinyur Muhammad Asyari, Magister of Engineering, Rector of Institut Teknologi 10 November, who has sent us welcoming remarks in advance. Please welcome Professor Dr. Insinyur Muhammad Asyari, Magister of Engineering, to give welcoming remarks.
Salam sejahtera dan salam sehat untuk kita semua. Honorable Professor Roziah binti Mohd Janur, Vice Chancellor of University Technology Mara or UiTM in Malaysia, the Honorable Dr. Kartika Fitriasari, Head of Department of Statistics of ITS, the Honorable Professor YBhg and Dr. Jerry Purnomo, the Chairman of SCDS 2021, distinguished participants and all audience. On behalf of Institut Teknologi 10 November or ITS in Surabaya, Indonesia, I'm greatly honored and pleased to welcome you to the 6th International Conference on Soft Computing in Data Science, SCDS 2021, with the theme Science in Analytics, Harnessing Data and Simplifying Solutions. I would like to thank the organizing committee who have organized this event very well during the pandemic situation. This SCDS 2021 is organized by Institute for Big Data Analytics and Artificial Intelligence, University Technology Mara, with collaboration of Faculty of Computer Science and Mathematics of UiTM, and also the Department of Statistics, Faculty of Science and Data Analytics, Institut Teknologi 10 November ITS Surabaya, and also with the Research Center Nexus UiTM from 2 until 3 of November 2021. I would like also to thank the 7 keynote speakers. The first one, the Honorable Dato Sri Dr. Mohd Uzir Mahidin, Chief Statistician Malaysia. Also the Honorable Professor Dr. Guan-Hua Huang from Institute of Statistics National Ming Chiao Tung University, NYCU, Taiwan. Also the other distinguished speakers, Professor Dr. Rev. Paul Heri Kuswanto from Department of Statistics ITS, Surabaya, Indonesia. Also Distinguished Associate Professor Dr. Aiden Doherty from Oxford Big Data Institute, Oxford University, UK. Also Honorable Associate Professor Dr. Simon Fong from University of Chiao, China. Also Professor Dr. Richard C. Milham from Durban University of Technology, Africa. The other respected speakers, also the Honorable Associate Professor Dr. YBhg from University of Texas Health Science Center. The topic of these 7 keynote speech are absolutely important and timely. And the issue of big data and digital transformation is also the very interesting issue nowadays. With the COVID-19 pandemic, we are all now the witness of the acceleration in the digital transformation in any organization. As large and leading university with more than 23,000 students, and now the position at the first place for Times Higher Education Impact Ranking 2021 in Indonesia, ITS at the forefront to foster innovation. ITS currently still works in many advanced research with respect to digital transformation. Our innovation idea have been transformed into useful products. Artificial intelligence and data analytics based innovation products made by ITS already put it in some industry and for application in the hospital, such as COVID-19 detection through outdoors, autonomous cars for internal campus transportation, etc. At the national level, we also need a triangle of actors to support innovation: the government, the academia, and the business practitioner. The government provides infrastructure, financials, defines strategic development goals, and carries out research and innovation products. The academia conducts with the range of research and provides training for innovation specialists, scientists, and also entrepreneurs. And for the business practitioner, serve as the main producer of innovation capable of commercializing innovation result and connecting government programs with academic research. I believe that this international conference is an excellent medium for exchanging ideas, knowledge, information, insights, and also working in a collaboration with other partners. And the conference aims is also for improving academic research quality and increasing contribution to the society. So I'm hoping that this event later will be able to generate valuable insight and implication for innovation project idea. I wish a very nice experience for all participants. Thank you very much. Enjoy the conference. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Insinyur Muhammad Asari, Magister Engineering. Now, please welcome Professor Dr. Jasni Muhammad Zain on behalf of Professor Technologist Dr. Roziah binti Muhammad Janur, the Vice Chancellor of University Technology Mara, to give opening remarks. Please, Professor Dr. Jasni Muhammad Zain, the time is yours.
I'm sorry, Professor, your sound is not available.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam sejahtera, salam satu YBhg, and a very good morning to everyone. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Dr. Mohd Ash'ari, Dr. ITS, Institute Teknologi 10 November in Malaysia. Yang berbahagia, Dato' Sri Dr. Uzir Mahidin, Chief Statistician of Department of Statistics Malaysia, Prof. Honorary Chairs, distinguished keynote speakers, Professor Guan-Hua, Dr. Jerry B. Purnomo, FCDS 2021 conferentials, and all organizing committees, conference participants, international collaborators, and industry partners and players. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to welcome all distinguished guests, esteemed keynote speakers, paper presenters, and participants to the 6th International Conference on Self-Computing in Data Science 2021, FCDS 2021. I thank the conference organizing committee for giving me the honor to officiate the 6th International Conference on Self-Computing in Data Science, uplifting science in analytics, harnessing data, and simplifying solutions. This year's annual conference is jointly organized by the Institute for Big Data Analytics and Artificial Intelligence, Dato, University Technology Mara, and Institute Technology 10 November, ITS Surabaya, Indonesia, with the support
Professor?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen,
The government is aware of the increased demand from both the public and commercial sectors for data scientists to handle critical concerns such as applications of big data. There is thus a pressing need for universities to stay focused on producing highly qualified digital skilled workers and researchers who can contribute towards the actualization and success of data-driven digital.
In this respect, I am proud to announce that YBhg has a Center of Excellence, which is the Institute for Big Data Analytics, known as the Zain.
Formerly known as AAEC, Advanced Analytics Engineering Center, under FSKM, to act as a bridge between the academia, industries, and the government. I would like to congratulate the Institute for Big Data Analytics and Artificial Intelligence, as well as our international conference partner, Institute Technology 10 November from Surabaya, Indonesia, for jointly organizing this virtual conference and for all the assistance rendered in making this event a success. I also thank the support from the Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Sciences and Renew from UiTM. It is such great teamwork that leads universities to successfully carry out impactful programs for the academia, students, and industry. I would also like to express my appreciation to University of Tennessee, Oxford University, Universitas Gadjah Mada, UTech Institute of Technology, Chulalongkorn University, Liverpool John Moores University, Durban University of Technology, University of Macau, Charles Sturt University. My heartfelt thanks to Kondatix Malaysia, Sendirian Berhad, and MDEC for being on board with UiTM in this journey. I hope the outcome of this conference will not only foster closer interdisciplinary cooperation among Malaysian universities and our international counterparts, but also will lead to stronger university-industry collaboration. This could be achieved by embracing a culture of research, development, and innovation through constructive dialogues across disciplines, national boundaries, and cultural domains. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all make the best of the virtual platform that is made available to us today by this conference in terms of exchanging ideas, exploring possibilities, and exploiting the presence of experts and exponents of science and analytics. Last but not least, I would like to applaud the commitment and dedication of the conference committee from UiTM and ITS. It's your great efforts and dedication that helps create your university visibility and earn a place in the world academic standing. To everyone, I wish you a rewarding and fulfilling experience at SCDS 2021. May we move forward with strategic collaborations and bring forth innovative ideas to benefit global community. On that note, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, most beneficent, most merciful, I declare the 6th International Conference on Soft Computing in Data Science 2021 officially open. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Tepuk tangan.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Jasni Muhammad Zain, for the opening remarks. And now, we invite you to witness Professor Dr. Insinyur Muhammad Asyari, Magister of Engineering and Professor of Technologies, Dr. Raziah binti Muhammad Janur, to exchange souvenirs between University Teknologi Mara and Institut Teknologi 10 November to officially open this conference.
Okay, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you video montage of SCDS 2021.
We have seen a glimpse of SEDS 2021 through the video montage. And now we are going to have photo sessions. To all participants, please turn on your camera and give us your best smile. To the committee, please take over the time to take the photo.
Okay, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, please kindly turn on your camera for this photo session. Because there are a few slides in these meetings, it's going to take some time to capture. Okay, so now I'm going to take the first slide on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you all for your patience.
Thank you to all the participants and the committee. We will have a 15 minutes break before our next session. Please come back at 9:50 Indonesian time or 10:50 Malaysian time. Thank you.
Good morning. Okay, as we know that today we'll be having a pre-conference virtual workshop entitled Data Management and Analytics with R. Of course, we need a technique, to process the data. Okay, so this is where your data analytic knowledge must be in.
Evidence. There is sufficient evidence to conclude that the students who do well in theoretical biology tests also do well in practical biology tests.
The practical and theoretical tests, they are directly related. Yeah, there is sufficient evidence to conclude that these two variables, the marks of the theoretical and the practical, are having direct relationship at the 5% level of significance. Okay. good morning. Okay, as we know that today we'll be having a pre-conference virtual workshop entitled Data Management and Analytics with R. Of course, we need a technique, to process the data. Okay, so this is where your data analytic knowledge must be in.
Evidence. There is sufficient evidence to conclude that the student who do well in theoretical biology tests also do well in practical biology tests.
The practical and theoretical tests, they are directly related. There is sufficient evidence to conclude that these two variables, the marks of the theoretical and the practical, are having direct relationship at the 5% level of significance. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will start our first keynote speaker on 10:15 Indonesian time or 11:15 Malaysian time. We extend the break to fit the program schedule. Thank you.
Good morning. Okay, as we know that today we'll be having a pre-conference virtual workshop entitled Data Management and Analytics with R. Of course, we need a technique, to process the data. Okay, so this is where your data analytic knowledge must be in.
There is sufficient evidence to conclude that the student who do well in theoretical biology tests also do well in practical biology tests.
The practical and theoretical tests, they are directly related. There is sufficient evidence to conclude that these two variables, the marks of the theoretical and the practical, are having direct relationship at the 5% level of significance. Okay. good morning. Okay, as we know that today we'll be having a pre-conference virtual workshop entitled Data Management and Analytics with R. Of course, we need a technique, to process the data. Okay, so this is where your data analytic knowledge must be in.
There is sufficient evidence to conclude that the student who do well in theoretical biology tests also do well in practical biology tests.
The practical and theoretical tests, they are directly related. There is sufficient evidence to conclude that these two variables, the marks of the theoretical and the practical, are having direct relationship at the 5% level of significance. Okay.
ni.
Kena unmute kan?
Tak perlu kacau program.
Okay, Prof. Yap, you can try the speaker now, Prof. Yap. Hello, Prof. Yap, you can try. Still, I cannot hear your voice. Yeah, cannot hear your voice.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Very
Okay.
clear.
All right.
Yes.
Good. Good. You can hear me. Boleh? Okay. Kalau tak boleh, you just say it like that. Hi, Prof. Tati.
Yeah.
Prof. Tati. You cannot hear me.
Hi, how are you?
Good, Prof. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, you. So are you in Malay? Or?
Yes, I'm still in
campus.
Yes, in campus. Are you in campus? Are you
from home?
Over from home? I see.
From home. Yeah.
Okay. Good. How many? I saw Dr. Retianto. Dr. Retianto is among the participants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Prof. We are going to start soon. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
Nice to see you, Dr.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll talk to you later,
Good.
Prof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Still not joined yet, Prof. Yap.
Dato is not in yet. Okay, we wait for him to join. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
All right. I cannot hear you when this is here. I cannot hear you when I put my this on here. Yeah, I think he will come in.
Yeah. Dato is joining to the Zoom now.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much. Dr. Dedi, I will show the slide or you will show the slide?
Yes, we have the slide and we operate the slide for Dato.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Di sebelah sama Prof. Yap ya.
Good morning, Dato Sri. Dato tak unmute lagi.
Okay, good morning. How are you?
Good, Dato. Thank you so much. I know you're very busy.
Hey, okay, it's fine. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
I will pass over to the MC first.
Yes.
Can we start now, Prof. Yap? Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the break time now has over. So without further ado, we are now moving to the first keynote speech by the Chief Statisticians, Department of Statistics, Malaysia, yang berbahagia Dato Sri Dr. Mohamad Uzir Mahidin. The keynote speech will be moderated by Professor Dr. YBhg from University Teknologi Mara. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to yang berbahagia Dato Sri Dr. Mohamad Uzir Mahidin and Professor Dr. YBhg.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sekar. Salam sejahtera and a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great honor for me to introduce our first keynote speaker, yang berbahagia Dato Sri Dr. Mohamad Uzir Mahidin, Chief Statistician of Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Dato Sri Dr. Mohamad Uzir obtained his Bachelor of Economics degree from University of Malaya, Masters of Arts majoring in Economics from University of Nashville, USA, and Doctor of Philosophy in Economics from University of Sheffield, USA. Dato Sri has been devoted to his career by serving at Department of Statistics Malaysia, famously known as DOSM, for the past 30 years since his first posting as a statistician in 1990. On a personal note, I've known Dato for more than 30 years. Dato, thank you so much for joining us here today. He has extensive experience and specializes in both economic and social statistics. He has served and contributed in various fields of statistics such as national accounts, external trade, industrial and construction, and services. Dato Sri significantly contributes at the international arena through his appointment as the chair of various committees such as ISI World Statistics of Congress, UNISCAP Bureau of Committee on Statistics, Organization of Islamic Cooperation Statistical Commission, and International Association of Official Statistics. At national level, Dato Sri plays an active role in supporting and implementing the Sustainable Development Goals by focusing on the role of DOSM as a focal point for coordinating the development of SDGs. Dato Sri is also actively involved in statistical literacy activities for the public to create awareness of the importance of statistics in everyday life. Dato Sri, we appreciate the statistics alerts from DOSM, which I often receive in my WhatsApp, okay, and which you share on Facebook, which is decimated, okay, which decimated various important information on social, economic, or COVID data, okay, through creative statistical infographics. Thank you, Dato, okay, for all the initiative from you and from your staff at DOSM. DOSM also promotes National Statistics Day every year with the theme, Better Data, Better Lives. Recently, Dato Sri Dr. Uzir has been appointed as the 6th Census Commissioner, okay, by the 16th Yang di-Pertuan Agong of Malaysia. Congratulations, Dato. I'm also very proud to inform that Yang berbahagia Dato Sri Dr. Mohamad Uzir is also the adjunct professor of UiTM Malaysia. The title for Dato Sri's keynote speech is Analytics and AI, Harnessing the Unconventional Data Sources. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Yang berbahagia Dato Sri Dr. Mohamad Uzir Mahidin. Dato, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Yap. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. Deans, Director, Head of the Department, faculty members, distinguished conference delegate. First of all, I would like to express my sincere thanks to University Teknologi Mara for inviting me to this conference and for the opportunity to talk about the title of on area of analytics and AI, and particularly on harnessing the unconventional data sources. On personal note, I would like also convey my appreciation to Professor Yap, because from time to time she also offers some sharing her knowledge, experience, and for this congress. I got a personal invitation from her. It's quite, I think, about a year ago. So I have I have actually no option to not to accommodate. So glad that
thank you.
We still can I can participate in the conference. Ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about the big data, everyone know that in this current environment is very important how we can really make use whatever the thing that around us, and we know that with the way we conduct our activities, our daily activities in our whatever in social, in economy, everything that we encounter daily actually is been can be captured in this current environment. That's why looking at how the statistic fraternity can really develop the capacity, the capability to make use the technology, especially in terms of AI and do the analytics is becoming very important. And I, as the chief statistician of the country, really proud to say that in this country, in Malaysia, the government is really put a focus how the data can really be enhanced to be basis for any policy from the beginning, from the developing the policy, from monitoring, and of course how to rectify any the public policy. Of course, beyond that, the role of official statistics is also to protect the people. So that's why I always say that with the good data, I think we can strengthen our society. The society can know very well what is happened in their particular area, in locality, at their state, and also at the national level. So we look at the data, big data and artificial intelligence. Let's see what happened when these two are merged. So as a big data initiative matured, organizations are now combining the agility of big data process with the scale of artificial intelligence capabilities to accelerate the delivery of business value. The convergence of big data with AI has emerged as the most important development that is shaping the future of how organizations drive business value from their data and analytic capabilities. In early years, statisticians were often limited to work with simple set of data. Now, big data has enabled statisticians and data scientists to access and work with massive set of data without restriction. DOSM, as a national statistic provider, like other national statistic office across the world, implement innovative method in artificial intelligence to produce new statistics, especially dealing with unconventional data sources. These new statistics produce value add and complement existing statistics to gain richer insight. Analytics and AI are often been mentioned in solving a complex problem with an efficient way in multiple industries, such as healthcare, entertainment, finance, and education. But is analytics the same as AI? Ladies and gentlemen, analytics and artificial intelligence are usually defined the process of discovering, interpreting, and communicating significant patterns in data or systematic computational analysis of data. The field of analytics is broad, whereby some of the most important communities, including statistics, operational research, artificial intelligence, business intelligence, web analytics, and data visualization. In a wider context, analytics is the process of developing actionable insight through data exploration. On the other hand, AI is exclusively referred as a completely autonomous process of exploring massive data set in developing actionable insight using elaborate computer algorithm. As we enter a new era where everything that surrounds us run on data, as I mentioned earlier, processes that were implemented 10 years ago to handle data are becoming increasingly irrelevant. There is a need for a more sophisticated program, and this is where AI and machine learning have emerged to address this need. There are three main contributions of AI to the analytic capability, which are automation process, wider scope, and increased efficiency and privacy. In terms of automation, AI contribute to analytics by automating analytic tasks, which can reduce errors and improve quality and speed, and sometimes achieve the outcome that go beyond human capability. AI system analyze data autonomously. Based on the analysis result, it can provide useful insight that are not only accurate, but beneficial for businesses. Analytics are only as useful as long as it is accessible. The sub-branch of AI that deal with text generation that enable automated report preparation, which make analytics more accessible. Next, in terms of scope and efficiency, when we compare to the days when Excel was the primary analytic tool, the scope of analytics of the unstructured data such as text, audio, and image is very limited. Now, the advances in AI greatly expand the scope of analytics, where the semi-structured and unstructured data is becoming analyzable. Today, with the advance of AI algorithm and machine learning, we are not only reducing the cost and optimizing the analysis process, but also make the analysis become more powerful. Machine learning that use the statistical techniques enable the computers to identify and learn the pattern in the given data, rather than being programmed explicitly for a certain function. Lastly, in terms of privacy, with the increasing demand for analytics and increasing protection of personal data, the demand for anonymized data also has been increased. Anonymization is a tool that takes data processing out of the data protection legislation and reduce risk of private data breach. AI algorithm can generate synthetic data, which is machine generated, anonymized, but following the same distribution as the underlying personally identifiable data. Ladies and gentlemen, the rise of unconventional data usage, such as website data, satellite image, has been significantly beneficial to the DOSM as a national statistic provider to produce complementary statistics in assisting the government policy formulation. DOSM has started the implementation of big data analytics in producing more reliable and timeliness of business statistics since December 2016. Initially, there are three main modules in DOSM BDA, namely trade by enterprise characteristic, involve integration of high volume of structured data with fuzzy matching technique. Price intelligence is price intelligence is the modernizing data collection method with web crawling technique. And third, on public maturity assessment on officer statistics, uses tag mining technique for sentiment analysis. In July 2021, DOSM has successfully launched the Malaysian Economic Monitoring System, data visualization that presented in a dashboard style of graphical display to easily gain insight and identify pattern and trend from economic data. On top of the existing initiative, DOSM is actively exploring in BDA and utilizing unconventional data sources like informal sector and micro industry database, and analytics serve as a single reference of database by integrating administrative data with non-traditional data sources such as social media and web scraping. Second, Earth observation is the exploration of environmental insight with satellite imagery. And third, mobile positioning data as a dynamic proxy indicator in assessing economic activity and human commuting pattern, also include to look at on the tourism activities. Prior to 2019, DOSM only produced external trade statistics at Malaysia level because we do not have the location information of the traders. However, with the integration of two administrative data, namely trade database from the Royal Malaysia Customs Department and Malaysia Statistical Business Register (MSBR), which maintained by DOSM able to produce Malaysia external trade statistics at state level. So with this effort, we regularly produce on the monthly basis, beside the overall export and import of the country, we also release what is the export and import every state, including the small state in the northern part of Malaysia, Perlis. In ideal scenario, the ID numbers of companies in trade database and MSBR can be matched to integrate between these two databases. To put in the context, every month the amount of the transaction that cross-border transaction is amounted a few million, about 3 million per month. So we can see how with the artificial intelligence and how we can really benefit with the good speed of the technology, so we can do the linkages between the what been reported in the how the company report in the export and import when they conduct the business with the rest of the world. At the same time, we can link back who they are, from which state, and furthermore, actually we can have a look at the characteristic of the exporter and importer, whether they are from small medium enterprise, what kind of the technology being used for them to export the data. So the sum is we can make a lot more data discovery beside knowing the value, the quantity of the export and import data. I just try to describe the process. In the ideal scenario, the ID numbers of the companies in trade database and MSBR can be matched to integrate between these two databases. However, due to inaccurate information of ID numbers, DOSM then explore on fuzzy matching technique. Now DOSM is able to produce new statistics without conducting any new survey. So it's really clear, as mentioned earlier, with this current initiative with using the AI and also look at the unconventional approach, looking at the data, we can increase the efficiency and we can come up new data added additional from the traditional data without having incur extra cost. Of course, to enable for us to do the job, to run the analysis, so we need to invest on a lot more now on the technology. But we believe that when we invest on the technology to do the procurement for example for Hadoop and all the other facilities is long-term investment, and really we consider as is very value for money. So the effort was just combining the two databases which were readily available in DOSM. So if the government or any particular stakeholder want to know what the progress of small enterprise on the extended trade, on the activity exporting the product, so we can now easily can generate the data. Of course, perhaps this may not been seen from the unstructured data, but I talking about this database is the voluminous, is very involve about a few million transactions per month. Nowadays, especially during movement control order, major shopping platform in Malaysia like Shopee and Lazada become a trend in our community, along with the support from local and international courier such as Post Laju, Shopee Express, etc. Thus, with the price intelligence, we are leveraging the capability of big data in collecting large data from various unstructured data sources and transform them into structured data. The main objective of price intelligence is to give a better insight in consumer-related product prices and to establish new data sources to complement the existing consumer price index data collection. So with this data, DOSM managed to study and monitor the trend of price available online, as well as looking into connection between this data through dependency analysis. On the public maturity assessment on official statistics, it is the analysis or assessment of the degree of acceptability or happiness of the Malaysian community toward official statistics published regularly by DOSM. The data is obtained from the online social media such as Twitter. This module is used internally by DOSM as references in order for us to improve DOSM statistical delivery system by getting feedback from public perception and reaction. And additional to this, recently we also received a lot of requests using this facility to look at how the public at large see the whatever new policy that introduced by the government. So we use this platform to gauge the response of the public to the country's recent policy or initiative. So we process it and we give to our government to review whether they need to be continue certain initiative, whether they need to be rectified. So basically, for this process, and is involved four main stages, namely text of pre-processing, term weighting, dimension reduction, and performance evaluation. As I mentioned earlier, recently we launched the Malaysia Economic Monitoring System in July this year. The system presented in a dashboard style of graphical display, and that give a quick overview of the Malaysia current economic situation based on the selected key economic indicator performance. The dashboard contain 8 key economic indicators, namely GDP, employment, commodities, prices, manufacturing, services, international trade, and balance of payment. These indicators are presented in an interactive visualization of monthly, quarterly, and annual time series. The Malaysian Economic Monitoring Dashboard is the latest initiative and is allow the public to monitor the country current economic situation. So with this very easily to assess and easily to understand, we want that the statistic is not only exclusively used by only certain segment of the people. We want that the statistic can also be used by people at large. So with this dashboard, people can easily know what happened to our economy rather than listen to any sources that may not reliable. The concern among the public on the current economic situation is rising, especially since the MCO 3.0. Thus, department offer this interactive platform to monitor the current economic situation, to increase the literacy of statistics among the public and be input in decision making related to Malaysian economy. As we maybe some of us very familiar, when the National Sector Office like DOSM for Malaysia, BPS in Indonesia, and every other country also have their National Sector Office. Normally, the standard practice of National Sector Office, they have the dedicated time frame to release all the key statistics of the country. For example, for the inflation rate, we have we produce monthly. They have the specific date, external trade, export, import, unemployment, FDI, economy growth, save or manufacturing, save or retail, and so forth. Normally, we have different date, and is of course we already have the what we call M1 calendar. But issue is the public at large maybe not able to absorb that easily. So with this initiative, we put the statistic in very easily can be look together. So we can see, if we say that if the economic growth is doing improving well, so what happened to the unemployment? So what happened to the cost of living, inflation? And we want to see whether we have the economic growth with job creation, or we have the economic growth with jobless creation. And also, if we can say that, how about when we show that we're doing very well on the external front? Maybe we look at, for example, the export number increased tremendously. So what happened to the unemployment? If that not show also in the on the promising trend, then people at large can also make a point is what happened to the labor market. Is it the good performance in the external trade on the export is not benefited the employee? maybe because the export value increase, maybe the production mainly based on the high technology based industry. That's for example. So with this kind of looking at the number in more holistic, look at the linkages, that will make people more understand about what happened in our social economy in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, now the global spread of the COVID-19 pandemic is witnessing the uncertainty and slowdown of the world economy. There are opportunities to revive and drive the economy by increasing the use of analytical data, including administrative data and data sharing. Integration of large-scale administrative data with non-traditional data sources such as social media and web scraping is one of the initiatives by Department of Statistics in developing the informal sector and micro strategy micro industry SIM database to help the government make the best decision efficiently, accurately, and effectively. The database was developed to facilitate the government to identify organization or individual involved in informal and micro activities in order to channel appropriate financial skill assistance to the right targeted group. This initiative consider extending the informal sector definition with the involvement of agriculture activities. The department started to use GIS technology since 1991 census, widely used in it during pre-enumeration for 2010 census. Over time, the use of GIS have improved in the modernization of 2020 census, Docent Smart Listing and Docent Smart Map and Malaysia Statistical Address Register. In line with the experience and modernization of the use of GIS, the Department of Statistics Malaysia has taken steps using satellite image to improve the quality of the official statistics. So as we know, almost all living quarters in Malaysia is accessible either by road or water transport. However, there is still small numbers of living quarters situated in deep remote area and not easily accessible. Satellite imagery and machine learning has been used to identify building units in highly remote. The advantages of using geospatial data along with other sources of data can help to include the hard-to-count population and perhaps the only fast and cost-effective technology able to provide data at a global scale, especially during this pandemic time. In addition, early this year, DOSM has initiated a pilot project to estimate Malaysia rubber plantation area and productivity using satellite imagery and machine learning. The project is a collaboration project between DOSM with Malaysia Space Agency, MISA, and Malaysia Rubber Board Agency. The objective of this pilot project is to identify new and potential approach to complement and or to replace the traditional data collection method that presently apply in rubber production monitoring and estimation. Ladies and gentlemen, another interesting area is being explored by DOSM is mobile positioning data, MPD. MPD is a location-based data from mobile network operators to detect the movement of mobile user using a signal or telecommunication network. It can be used as a complement to the current conventional method in producing official statistics, especially in tourism, population, commuting pattern, town planning, etc. Mobile positioning data involves huge volume of data with massive transaction that need big data technology to process and analyze. It is an innovative data tool in producing accurate, highly quality statistics faster, more frequently, transparent, and reduce burden of respondent with minimum cost. This has been proven where our colleague in other countries such in Indonesia and Estonia have published official statistics based on MPD, mobile positioning data. And on top of that, everyone know now in our labor market, there are a lot of youngsters that involved in what we call the gig economy. So in these circumstances, they don't have any employer. So normally for the official statistic, normally we use the employer, I mean the company as the statistical unit to report on the numbers of employees and their wages and so forth. So with the growing pattern of gig economy, many youngster newcomer to the job market don't want to be have the relationship between employer and employee. They want to be have the free hand in their economy. I mean, in terms of their how they conduct to find way to get their income. So now we also explore a lot how using the AI, big data analytics from the, for example, if the housewife that involved in the e-commerce, they not really have register their activities in the company's registration, but with the web scraping and looking at the pattern, how frequent they use the courier service to ship their sale. That is another way how we can capture the activity on the e-commerce. Yes, there may be on the very small scale, but we add on throughout the country, maybe there are a lot. So it's another area that I believe with this kind of way of environment, so many approach what we call the unconventional data sources need to be part of the official statistic of the country. So a lot of opportunity beside the satellite image, whatever that I mentioned earlier. Perhaps we will continue to enhance, and with the good collaboration and with the open sky, where we always looking at what been done in other national security office. So we also I think in many areas I always mention to team, actually we not necessarily need to reinvent the wheel, but we can look at what been done, what program we make in our counterpart in the rest of the world. But good to also mention here, when I talk to my counterpart in other with the other chief statistician and with the international bodies that involved in statistics, when I mentioned that Malaysia always also look at the best practice of other country, but they also say to me they also look at how Malaysia doing on many things. I think it is good that we are Asian, our skill, the way doing thing, and the thing that in the 24/7 now is very very many things that happen, and easily what been done here today is easily overtaken by the event. So not necessarily what been good in the past is keep going becoming good in the future. So that's why meaning the official statistic of the country, we really need to be we have need to progress, be a dynamic, and always looking how to improve our process. And when we talk about development, is not ending. We consider that everyone know that is a journey. So with that, Professor Yap, I thank very much to everyone who participate and listen to this session.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dato Sri, for such an enlightening and enriching presentation. Dato Sri has stressed on the importance of analytics and AI, right? The importance of data visualization to get insights, data integration, and the use of satellite imagery and machine learning, and mobile positioning data to complement conventional methods in producing official statistics. Under the leadership of Dato Sri, you have made statistician doesn't look dull.
Yeah.
We don't look dull anymore, right?
Yeah. I still remember one of my minister mentioned to me, we need to make the statistics sexy.
They say data scientist is sexy. Statistics should be sexy and attractive.
Yes.
Let's open to the participants for question. Dato, boleh?
Yes, please.
Boleh, if you have any question, please unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and post your questions to Dato Sri. I'm sure you have questions. Prof Sri Hatati from UGM.
Yeah.
Prof, can you pose a question?
My question is, how far the research for AI that's been used for detecting the land area, like, as you mentioned in your presentation.
Dato, how AI is used? How AI is used in the land detection area?
Yeah.
I see. Thank you, Prof. In the land, for example, in agriculture, we also collaborate with the agency, what I call in Malaysia is Plan Malaysia, and also others agency on looking at the use of land, for example. And actually, in Europe, in this initiative on using AI in looking at how be part of the mode of the agriculture census. I think we have a good discussion with the particular country. Perhaps if Malaysia going to have the agriculture census later, for your information, we just concluded last Sunday our population and housing census, and in many circumstances, the practice is after the population and housing census, they will continue with the agriculture census. So perhaps we doing the agriculture census using the AI, satellite imagery and so forth, can really assist us to make the census more efficient. And also now, I know a certain country using drone also in getting they have their own drone in their organization. So I think this is another area that we are looking into it, and we still explore. And at the intergovernmental in area of statistics in the United Nations Statistics Department and Eurostat, there are a lot of discussion and how this can be progressively been used as a high percentage in the operation statistic, the way how we produce the data based on AI and also other tools. Yes.
Yeah. So is it possible, like in my country, in some universities also doing research, especially for smart agriculture? Yeah. Is it okay if we may probably can cooperate with the research in Malaysia?
I give one example how actually we can manage the government resources using the AI, using the new technique. For example, if the government provided the farmer with the subsidy to grow paddy, subsidy to grow the any agriculture farming, government can make sure whether they really produce or not by flying the drone, look at the slide imagery, because there are a lot of program that the government sometimes spend some education, but for example, we have a subsidy for fishermen to go to catch the fish. So actually, we can look whether the subsidy of petrol is really being used to catch the fish, for example. So there's a lot of the using the AI and other statistic combination with the technology, we can manage. The end is how the government, not only the government, I can mention the country can really manage the resources efficiently. And I think it's very, I can say, Professor Yap, it's a tragedy. We as the statistic fraternity not able to push this to be used. I mean, we actually, when we have this kind of conference session, among other things, to channeling this to be take into consideration how we can really monitor more efficiency on the allocation of the public fund, to look at the efficiency of on the ground when the policy been implemented. Of course, sometimes the policy is good. We can have a very good document. What happened in the ground is more important. The implementation, that the statistic and looking at the various data sources is very important. And we are need to also very proud that the service of the statistician, be in academia, be in the practitioner, is becoming increasing. Is really a lot of demand.
Yes. Okay, Dr. Sri, if I may add to Prof. Sri's question, she asked whether we are open to collaboration. Okay.
Of course. I think, for example, I really looking forward. Maybe I mentioned like this. Maybe Prof, maybe try to how the issue now. Not only we produce a good statistic, but how the people at last can really make use the statistic. So we not bring the horse to the water, but how to make sure the horse drink the water. And now that's why Professor Yap frequently receive my state alert. We discuss a lot in the international level. If you think that you perform just after you upload the table on the portal, where the thing they say that you are dead. Because in the current scenario, everyone of there are many things that we need to doing every day. you think people have time to go to your website to look at their statistic, unless when they want to do seriously to the research that they do. I mean, but not many the ordinary people go to the National Cycle Office website to get the what happened, but they go to their Facebook, their Twitter and IG. That's why we really encourage our statistician, our statistic fraternity to actively involved in the social media, make the statistic interesting, touch their heart, and make their, for example, when we say that we are facing a lot of cost of living, so we can describe why this cost of living accelerated. So we show how dependent of us on the imported good, for example, why we cannot develop our good agriculture, modern agriculture, and so forth. It's not also responsibility of the government, but the people, the businesses, and also our labor. When they participate in the labor market, maybe they can also look how to be an entrepreneur in the agriculture. So we need to bring the statistic to people. And the role of the academia, how we can collaborate to not those days the academia only looking at how to write a good journal to get a good recognition. I still remember my supervisor, when I do the dissertation, Uzir, you know, how many will read our work? Yourself, your examiner. But if we write something that about, for example, the statistic of the people, many academia write about the comparison one district to the other district, whether the district how the achievement. That's why I really looking forward. For example, if we do the CSR, corporate social responsibility, for example, from the student in the faculty from in the Department of Statistics of University, if they can use CSR to do more CSR on literacy statistics to the head of village, is more impactful rather than conventional CSR. How to do the visualization, how to have a quick basic key statistic of the kampong village, what happened, and say that if this continue with the current pattern, this kampong maybe only have high percentage of the older generation, the village becoming ghost kampong, for example. So bring that statistic and how they can interpret in the more layman term. I think this is another area I really strongly we can do the collaboration. I think we need do the talking. I think I really want to see the academia can really facilitate to bring the statistic to people. Besides that, writing a good journal for the international and to present it to the conference.
Thank you, Dato Sri. Okay, thank you for making the data available for research. Okay, due to time constraints.
For this current census, we also, for example, when we just concluded the census recently, I already asked the team to circulate to all our researchers to come forward looking at we have 108 questions to look at what kind of the proposal that to be part of the research based on the latest census. And I really want that to be accelerated, and perhaps we can share a certain percentage of the data without waiting for the very clean data. I think with the small noise in the data, we can also accelerate the research, and this will be benefit of the country, because we really follow the previous template, waiting for 1-2 years to have the data to be do the research is quite update. After 2-3 years, I think that is really very hard. Everyone based on the early finding or earlier result of the data collection, I think that it can be used for the prelim research. And after that, when we totally clean the data, then they can update their data set. And maybe if they need to come up with a new recommendation, the policy implication based on their research, they can do the updating version of their research.
Thank you very much, Dato Sri. Okay, under your leadership, you have made statistics looks important, and the public is more aware of the role of DOSM. Right?
Thank you very much.
Okay, we hope you bring DOSM to greater heights. It's not easy to get you. We highly appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I know you're very busy, and thank you again for your continued support, okay, of our programs. Yeah, I'm sure the participants have gained relevant knowledge, okay, from your sharing, your keynote session. So for now, Dato Sri, thank you from us. I will pass over to the MC. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Over to you, Biseka.
Okay, thank you to Yang Berbahagia Dato Sri Dr. Muhammad Uzir Mahidin and Professor Dr. YBhg. As a token of gratitude, we would like to give Yang Berbahagia Dato Sri Dr. Muhammad Uzir Mahidin a certificate of appreciation. We greatly appreciate your time you spent with us today. Please, everyone, give us your thumbs up through the Zoom reaction.
And your clap.
Thank you very
And
much.
to the committee, please take over the time to take the photo. Okay, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. Is the committee ready? Okay, let me count 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Dato.
Thank you.
Hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
In Putrajaya.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome the next keynote speaker. We present to you Professor Dr. Guan-Hua Huang from the National Yang Ming Tung University, Taiwan. The keynote speech will be moderated by Mr. Jerry Dwi Trijoyo Purnomo, PhD, from Institute Teknologi 10 November. Please, gentlemen, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, the MC. Let me continue to our next keynote speaker. We are delighted here to have Professor Dr. Guan-Hua Huang as our keynote speaker. Good afternoon, Prof. Huang.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okay, how have you been, Prof. Huang?
I'm good.
It's very nice to see you again, Prof. Huang.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Before we start this session, let me read a brief CV of Prof. Huang. Nowadays, Prof. Huang is a professor and director of Institute of Statistics, National Yang Ming Tung University, Taiwan. His research area are biostatistics, bioinformatics, genetic statistics, high-dimensional data, latent variable modeling, and Bayesian analysis. He got his bachelor in mathematical science from National Tsinghua University, Taiwan, then master in statistics from National Tsinghua University, Taiwan, and PhD in biostatistics from the Johns Hopkins University, US. His professional affiliation including American Statistical Association, International Biometric Society, International Chinese Statistical Association, and Psychometric Society. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome Prof. Huang. Prof. Huang, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Jerry. And let me first share my screen. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's okay.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
okay, Prof. Huang. Yes.
Can you see the You
Yes.
can see the screen? Right.
Yes, yes, sir. We can see your screen.
Okay, so let me see. I don't know why. Okay, so
Please slideshow, Prof.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So
okay.
Okay, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, Prof. Yeah, you can start now, Prof. Please.
Okay, okay, okay. Then let me get started. And I don't know. Okay. Okay. I will get started. And first, I want to thank the organizer for the invitation, and it's a great honor to have the chance to give a talk. And second of all, it's also very happy to have the chance to see some of the old friends, especially my previous students, although it's not in person, but in the video, but it's still great. Okay, and today I want to talk about our research on using the machine learning method and for analyze the functional brain image to predict the Parkinson disease. Okay. Okay, so our focus is on the Parkinson disease, and the Parkinson disease is a new neurological disease associated with the strata dopamine deficiency, and whose symptoms include the slow movement, muscle stiffness, and the shaking. And the main group of the people who have the Parkinson disease is the elderly. And on average, 2% of the people over the age of 65 will get the Parkinson disease. And the study has also shown that the early stage of Parkinson disease through the intervention of drug and the physical therapy will have the very good effect on the treatment. Therefore, how to correct diagnosis whether a patient has a Parkinson disease and its severity at the early stage is a subject worth studying. And at the present, Parkinson disease can be effectively diagnosed through the functional brain image, such as the SPECT and the PET that we will introduce in the following. And however, the main diagnosis method is still through the human judgment. So many studies have tried to use the statistics or machine learning method to achieve the purpose of automatically diagnose the Parkinson disease. Okay, the common approach used in the literature for analyze the functional brain image include you can use the whole brain image and reduce their dimension. And also the second one is you can analyze only the strata site that is closely related to the Parkinson disease and present useful statistics or shape analysis of the strata. And most of the literature is focusing on how to distinguish between normal people and the people with the Parkinson disease, and really involve the distinguish the Parkinson disease, the multiple disease stage. And therefore, we hope to propose a serious method to solve the multi-class classification of the predicting the Parkinson disease. And this serious method include the image and the data preprocessing and the 3 different types of classification method, and hoping to give the doctor a more help in the clinical diagnosis. Okay, and this is the so this is the architectural diagram of our analysis, and we analyze the SPECT image, and then we will first do some of the basic image and the data preprocessing to element some of the biases. And then we have 2 ways of doing the analysis. One is to treat each pixel in the image as 1 unit. And the other one would be to do directly process the whole image. For the former one, we will first do the feature extraction, then deal with the problem of categorical imbalance. And then we will develop 2 type of classification method, using the traditional statistical method or using the ensemble method. And for the one of analyze the whole image, we will first do the image augmentation to handle the imbalance and the enlarged sample size. Then we will put them into a deep learning model to do the classification. Okay, now I will go into detail in each of the item. Okay. The data used in this study was collected through a retrospective experiment design. The SPECT image and the diagnosis result are collected from March 2006 to March 2014. And the image data is coming from 6 normal health control and 196 patients with the Parkinson disease, and of which the Parkinson disease is divided into 5 stages, as shown in the table, with the first stage being the slightest and the 5th stage is the most serious. Okay, and the data we are analyzing is the SPECT image data. The SPECT represents the single photo emission computed tomography. And the SPECT is the diagnostic tool that combines gamma ray and the computer image. And our data is the SPECT image of the brain. And the SPECT can construct the 3D brain image through many 2D sections. Okay. Then we were talk about how do we do the image preprocessing. And for the Parkinson disease, the strata can be effective to determine the symptom of Parkinson disease and its severity. So in the figure, the 2 sensor bay in here is actually the strata. So normal people will have the high brightness and the abnormal people have low brightness. Okay, so in our analysis for each patient, we will collect many of the 2D image of their brain. And we will first pick up the one image that have the most clear strata image. And then each image will, the size of each image will be 128 times 128. But as you can see in this image, most of the area is black. That means it's not the signal area. Only the small area have the signal. So then we will further cut the graph, the image into the 50 times to 50 like this. And we were focusing on analyze this 50 times 50 image for each patient. Okay, so then later now we will talk about, say, how do we do the feature extraction when we treat each pixel as an image, each pixel as an analysis unit. And our feature extraction use the most common used principal component analysis. A PCA is concerning with explaining the variance covariance structure of a set of variables through a few linear combinations of these variables. The objective of the PCA is for dimension reduction. And the reason for doing the dimension reduction is that and if we treat a pixel in the image as a variable, that will make the too many variables. And for our analyzed image is 50 times to 50 image. They will have the 2,500 variables. And we hope to use the PCA and to select the K, which is smaller than 2,500 new variable, and that will contain most of the information of the original 2015 variable. Okay, and for doing the PCA, the number of principal components need to be determined in advance. So in this graphic, the horizontal axis is represent the number of principal components of the PCA, and the vertical axis is represent the cumulative variance explained by the principal component. At the end, we select 50 principal component and to reduce original 2,500 variable. And the cumulative variance explained by this 50 principal component is about 97%. And as you can notice in here, there's 5 different lines. This different line represent the result from the 5 cross validations. And as you can see, the result from the 5 cross validation is quite consistent. They all point to the 50 principal component is enough. Okay, so then next step, we will try to handle the data imbalance problem. Okay, so as you can see from our data is quite imbalanced. The majority, the participant is coming from the stage 3 and the stage 4, and there's less patient is from stage 1 and the stage 2, and also really of the participant is coming from the normal stage and the severe stage. So for this kind of imbalanced data, and if you don't do anything for the data, then the method you develop will tends to predict people to the stage who have many participants. Okay, so then there's 2 mainstream processing methods for handling the imbalanced data. One is the undersampling, and the other is oversampling. Okay, undersampling is to reduce the number of samples of the majority classes so that each category reach a balance. But the disadvantage is obviously that a lot of information will be lost. And the oversampling, on the other hand, the oversampling is to repeat or copy the sample of the minority classes so that each category reach a balance of numbers. But the disadvantage is that because the sample are copied directly, so there's a high chance of overfitting. Okay, and due to the preciousness of the medical image, we do the oversampling to solve the imbalance problem. But we do not directly copy the sample of the few category, but instead we use a method called SMOTE to create the new sample of the minority class. As you can see, showing on the left of the graphic, the red dot is the majority category, and the blue dot is the minority category. And we first select a sample Xi from the minority class, and then we select the Xn from the K nearness K from the K minority class sample that closest to the Xi, and we call it Xn. Then use the formula here, and we can generate the new sample X new, and we will repeat this process and repeat the whole process until the number of minority category reach the preset amount. Okay, then we can overcome the class imbalance problem. Okay, so in here the bar graph on the left is the sample before doing the SMOTE, and the bar graph on the right is the sample after doing the SMOTE. After doing the SMOTE, for the each category will have very balanced sample, and that's what we are going to do. Okay, after doing the SMOT, we will make each category have the same amount of number, the same amount of sample, and that will not have caused the class imbalance. Then we will use the different way to classify this image, and the method we use we use some of the traditional method for do the classification, include the linear discriminant analysis at LDA, support vector machine, SVM, and decision tree, and also the neural network for doing the classification. We will classify this image to either they have the normal disease, they are normal, or they are in one of the 5 of the disease category. Okay. Other than the traditional method, we also use the ensemble math model to do the classification. Okay, so ensemble learning itself is not a single classifier, but it's complete the classification by constructing and combining the multiple classifiers. And that is a strong classifier is obtained by combining the multiple weak classifier. And there's 2 main methods for doing the ensemble learning. One is called averaging, the other is called the boosting. Okay, the averaging method approach builds several base weak learner independently, and then take the average of this weak learner for the prediction. And on average, the combined estimate is usually better than the single base estimate because its variance is reduced. And the famous random forest is the representative method of doing the average approaching. Okay, and for the boosting one, the weak learner or boosting approach is actually built on the top of the previous weak learner and the recursive generate. So this unlike the averaging approach, each learner is dependent on the previous learner. Okay, and this approach, the representative method of this approach is the adaptive boosting. Okay. Okay, so if we treat each pixel as a variable, we actually use 2 different ways to do the classification. And if we treat the whole image as a whole, then we will go on this way. And for doing this, we will first need to do the image augmentation. So the image augmentation is artificially augment the sample size of the training data. And the image augmentation is needed because in the medical image we are analyzed usually have a very small number of sample. And if you want to use the deep learning method like we use, you will not have enough sample by using all this. So we can do, so for example, translation, or we can do, for example, translation, zoom in and zoom out, rotation, flipping, or close-cut transformation, or change the color to generate a new image, and also this newly generated image and the original image will be included in the model for the training data. Okay, so here in this analysis, we actually performing 4 different types of the transformation. The transformation we plan include the rotation and the width shift and the horizontal flipping and the zooming. The image on the left is the original image. The image on the right is the image after doing the augmentation. You can see they are, although they are different from the original one, but the shape is still kept. And also here at the end, we augment each category, each stage to have 250 image. So, and then we will analyze this 250 sample in each stage for the analysis. Okay, now after we augment the image, we will put this augment image into a deep learning model to do the analysis. Okay. So when it comes to deep learning, it will definitely mention about the CNN. And the CNN, it represents the convolutional neural network. And the CNN is very powerful in image recognition. And many image recognition models are also extended based on the CNN architecture. The overall architecture of CNN is to input the image and through some of the convolution layer and through the nonlinear transformation and the pooling layer and the fully connected layer, and then end up to the final output. Okay, when analyze the CNN, the input the image can be either grayscale or color image. So if the input image is the color picture, a picture will be divided into 3 RGB image matches, and these 3 RGB image will be put into the CNN model, and at that time we will have the depth equal to 3. And for the spec image we are analyze, it's actually the grayscale. So when it's grayscale, you only have 1 image matches. Okay, and when doing the CNN architecture we are using is actually called the YBhg 16, and which is one of the best CNN model proposed in 2014. Okay, so the YBhg actually contains 5 convolutional blocks, and in the first and the second convolution block consists of 2 convolution layer and 1 max pooling layer, and in the third and fourth and the fifth block, it consists of the 3 convolutional layer and the 1 max pooling layer. And in all these convolution layer, the size of filter is all the 3 times 3. And after this convolutional block, actually there are 2 fully connected followed, and then end up to do the estimation. Okay. And in doing the deep learning, we also perform the so-called transfer learning. Okay, transfer learning actually is to transfer the learned or trained model parameter to the new model and to help the new model training. So consider the most data or the task or the image are related. We can actually transfer the learned model parameter, also the learned knowledge to the new model in some way and through the transfer learning. And so as to, by doing this, we can speed up and optimize the learning efficiency of the whole model without learning from 0 to the as doing by for the most of network. Okay, so this is actually after doing the deep learning. Now we are going to our result. Okay, and for the method mentioned in here, all are implemented through the Python, and we also, when doing the PCA or Mohd, we are actually is using the scikit-learn library in the Python for doing that. And for doing the image augmentation, we are actually using the Keras library in the Python for doing the analysis. Now here is the result from when using the traditional statistical method for doing the classification. In the graphic here, and the x-axis represent the different stage of the Parkinson disease, and the y-axis represent the test accuracy at each disease stage, and different color represent different method by using different method to do the analysis. So, and as you can see, for all the model, they are performing quite good at the stage 4 because we have the most sample in the stage 4. And all the model do not perform good on the stage 0 and the stage 5 because we have the less sample. Although we already do the dimension reduction and also do the oversampling, but still the traditional statistical method do not do in good prediction on the stage 0, which is the normal people, and on the stage 5, which is the people with the most severe Parkinson disease. And as you can see in this table, and the result here is from the training data. As you can see in the training data, the accuracy is actually very good. It's about it's almost close to is over the 90%. But when it comes to testing data, the accuracy actually reduced. As you can see, on the test data, the accuracy reduced to less than 50%, and for the decision tree is as low as the 30%. So that means that when you use the traditional statistical method for doing the Parkinson disease prediction, we have a very serious overfitting problem, which means that we are doing good in training data, but doing bad in the testing data. Now we are going to see the result from the ensemble model, and the same the plot is showing. But for the ensemble model, we see the result from the random forest, which is using the average ensemble approach. And also the result from the adaptive boosting and adaptive boosting plus the decision tree and adaptive boosting plus the support vector machine. And so we see the same pattern. At the stage 4, we had the best test accuracy. At the stage 0 and the stage 5, the prediction actually is not good. And also, we also see the overfitting problem. At the training data, the accuracy is very high, but in the test data, the accuracy actually reduced quite dramatically. And also on average, the random forests have the best performance among all the ensemble models. Okay, now it comes to the result from the deep learning model. But the one thing you can see for the deep learning model, it actually the test accuracy increased quite dramatically compared to the traditional model and the ensemble model. Here, when using the deep learning model, the overall accuracy on the test data can be as high as to close to over the 65%. And as you can see from the ensemble model, the accuracy is about is lower than 50%, and in traditional model is also lower than 50%. So that means the deep learning model can greatly improve the test accuracy of the overall the test. And also one thing you may want to see is that especially in the group stage 0 and the stage 5, for the normal people, as we can see from the ensemble model and the traditional statistical model, their accuracy, their prediction on the normal people and on the people at the stage 5 is very bad. But actually, in the deep learning model, their prediction on the normal people and on the stage 5 actually is quite good, and it's greatly improved the result from the previous one. Okay, here is the picture. We will summarize all our results, and we will see that this picture we can compare the classification method from all the methods, and the horizontal axis is the 9 different model we are used, and the vertical model is actually represent the accuracy. So here is a result from the traditional model. Here is a result from ensemble model. Here the result is from deep learning model, and then it's different. And different color represent the accuracy on different disease stage. So as you can see, on average, the deep learning model have the best prediction accuracy as compared to the traditional model and the ensemble model. And also the red line here is the accuracy on the training data, and the black line here is the accuracy for testing data. As you can see in the traditional model and ensemble model, the accuracy in training data and the accuracy in test data is quite different. So that means they are very serious overfitting problem in traditional model and ensemble model. But in the deep learning model, actually the difference between the training data and the test data is much less than the difference we see from the traditional model and ensemble model. So that means the deep learning model have less serious overfitting problem. Okay, so then that's the result. So the conclusion is that we actually develop a system include a series of the method to deal with the multi-class classification problem in the Parkinson disease. And this system include the image preprocessing, imbalance data preprocessing, and 3 different kind of model, include the traditional model, ensemble model, and the deep learning model. The overall, the deep learning YBhg16 outperform other models. And the YBhg16 and its related image preprocessing is very useful, and is the better approach to handle the multi-class classification of the Parkinson disease. Okay, our future work is in the future but as you can see here, although we got the 3D image from each patient, but we actually only use one of the 2D image for doing the analysis. And in the future, we will take we are taking the advantage of the 3D image. We will include all the 3D image from each patient for doing the analysis, and hopefully we can have the better prediction because we are using more information. And also in here, our deep learning model actually is focused on the YBhg16, which although it's good, but it's an older CNN architecture. So in the future, we will try a more complicated or more recently developed the model, like the YBhg19 or ResNet or DenseNet, or something like that, for doing.
Please unmute your
Oh,
mic.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, Prof. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Prof. Huang. Very nice presentation. Yeah, now we are moving to the Q&A session. Yeah, if you have any question for all participants, yeah, if you have any question or comment, just raise your hand or you can type in the chat room. Okay. Okay. Please. Okay. Yeah. For Mohamad. Yeah. Just.
Thank you very much. Sorry
Okay.
for I'm not showing my video.
Okay, sure. Okay, it's okay. Okay.
Okay. For Professor Huang, I wonder how you create the the structure of the network. Basically, I didn't see the detail of the network. That's the first question. The next question is how you can state that it's overfitting, because I didn't see any of the learning curve from the model. I mean, did you consider about the validation data or not? Because it's kind of far from our expected that the result like 60 from deep learning.
Okay. So
thank you.
Okay, so is that all?
Yeah.
Yes, just two questions.
Okay, two questions. Okay, so for to answer your first question, say actually our CNN model is the YBhg 16. So we have the basic structure is the YBhg 16. So we use this structure. Okay, so this and the second one. So when we are saying for I'm saying that we have the overfitting, and it's based on because as you can see the result in the training data, actually the overall accuracy is quite high. No matter who, like in the traditional model, the overall accuracy is almost 100%. But in the accuracy, the accuracy on the test data is reduced quite dramatically. So means the accuracy is very high in the training data. Means our model is actually doing everything as good based on the training data. But when we use this training data to predict, we use this model to predict some of the new test data, and actually it's the testing result is not good. So that because based on this observation, so that's the reason why I say we have the overfitting problem.
Can I add something?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still curious whether you decide to use like batch normalizations or not. Maybe
okay.
we can have a good sum.
And actually, in this model, we at the end of the convolution neural fully connected layer, we actually use some of the dropout or something like that to reduce the overfitting. But also because we are doing this. Actually, this is a work, an older work. Means at that time we did not try all the fancy or all the useful tool or all the useful method. We basically doing the very basic deep learning model based on the YBhg 16. So but actually we also actually do some.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other question? Yeah, is there any other? Yes, please. Yeah, please.
Good afternoon,
just
Professor
open
Huang.
mic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Professor Huang?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much for your opportunity to share this research for us. Okay, but I'm quite interested on the VGG 16 setting.
Okay.
So I'm just wondering that, right, how you decide how many layers that you're going to use, and then also how are you to set the number of the nodes for each layers? How you come into this kind of the settings?
Okay. Actually, we did not design the VGG 16, and the VGG 16 actually is developed by a group of people from the Cambridge. So that's they develop the whole process. So include how many layer and how many convolution and what is the size of the filter. So actually we just use the architecture designed by the others. So we did not design this whole architecture. We just use that.
In fact, this is the problem that I always encounter whenever come to like CNNs, right? So most of the time we are surprised by the magic number they use for each layers, the nodes. Right? The researchers get this kind of the to decide how many layers they're going to use, right? And then the number of the nodes from the first layer until the last output layers. So can you share your experience how to overcome this problem?
Yes, and this is also always confused me either. So but I think from my experience, you can only do this through some of the try and error process. So I believe they have a very big group of people. They try different number of layer, different number of the convolution, and a different number of setting. And then end up they find one of the structure is the best. So I believe, although maybe have some of the theoretical maybe have some theory to support their choices, but I think the majority is through some of the trial and error process. So so many people, as you. Not only you and also some of my colleagues from my university, they always question about say how to choose this. Is there any reasoning to follow for choosing this structure or choosing this? And but I from experience is and mostly is through some of try and error. And but actually I think that currently there is many of the architecture like VGG 16 or as I mentioned the ResNet or DenseNet. That's are all the different CNN architecture being used currently, and they are very powerful. They are very popular. The reason they are very popular is when we use this architecture to do the prediction, the result is actually quite good. It's very good. So that's the fact.
Okay, Professor Huang, would you mind to share with us how you apply the transfer learning in this research?
Okay, so in this research, as I say, the transfer learning means we transfer the model parameter we learn from one data set to the other one. Okay, and actually, so the way we're doing transfer learning, we actually first use the ImageNet. It's one of the biggest the image data set. We use the data from the ImageNet to train the VGG 16 model. And then after we do the training, we take some of the weight or parameter from the training. We take that weight and the parameter as the fixed number, and we just use them without we just use them into our medical image prediction, our Parkinson disease prediction. We treat them as a fixed parameter, and when we're doing our fix, we fix some of this parameter value. We only train training the some of the parameter at the very end. So we only train the parameter in the fully connected layer. So actually, for the convolution layer in here, all the parameter value actually is their value is actually getting from the ImageNet training, and we only we treat this as a fixed parameter, and then we treat it, and then we use our data to train the fully connected layer here. So when we say that transfer learning, we transfer the knowledge we learn from the ImageNet in here and use them directly. And we use our model to only to predict this connected layer part.
And this will save a lot of your research time, right?
Right. This will definitely will save a lot. As you can see, because for the YBhg 16, they have 200,000 parameters. We only have 200 samples, so it's impossible for our data to train the whole model. So it's very typical. So you will use this kind of transfer learning technology to use some of the knowledge you learn from one of the big data set to your analysis, and that will definitely save your time and the process.
Then there's a possibility for us to transfer the YBhg 16 research they have done to the YBhg 19, right? Possible?
No. You cannot transfer the from different. Typically, you don't transfer from between different model. You transfer. You are typically we are using the same model, but you apply the model to different data set. So typically, you will apply your model to some of the big public data set, and then you got the parameter estimate, and take this parameter estimate to your own private data set, which typically is smaller and with less sample. So typically we do it by this way.
So the key ingredient is to do the transfer learning, you must use the same models, correct?
Yes, typically, yeah.
Okay. So is it very time consuming for your research?
Time consuming for?
Means that for the processing, it will be too time consuming to process the data.
Yeah, it's time consuming, but it's necessary. so yeah.
Thank you very much for your explanation, Prof. Thank you very much.
Okay. I think we are moving to the last question of today's session. Please, Prof. Jasni, this is your chance now, Prof. Jasni. Prof. Jasni. Hello, Prof. Jasni. Yes, this is the last question from you. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Jerry, Marina, I want to ask question actually. I'm using Prof. Jasni's computer.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Prof. Huang, thank you very much for your interesting explanations on the solutions for the Parkinson images detection and classification. Okay, I just wonder about one question. When you use attenuation learning, okay, and then in this case ImageNet, how possible to compare with the without pre-trained images, without pre-trained images, compact.
So can you repeat the question?
Can you repeat again, please?
I cannot hear very clearly. So
yeah. Can you repeat once again? Yeah. Can you repeat? Yeah. Okay. Can you repeat again? Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So my question is, oh yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. My question is, okay. Yes. For me, it is good. Also, I also did some analysis or research in using images. Okay. Just want to ask a question. When you do research, how about when we use ImageNet, like the pre-trained one, and without the pre-trained? How it is can be compared in terms of possible performance of the solutions, and also compared with the assemble, and also it could be if you come up with probably hybrid solution with the optimal capability. Is there any possible potential good solution in there?
So you mean to compare the performance on different methods?
Yeah, different methods.
Okay.
How about the solutions? I mean, which one is? Can you obtain a good solution? Okay, for instance, the YBhg 16, it is normally based on image pre-train, right? Okay, let's say we are not using any pre-trained image and we consider without pre-trained. I mean the normal CNN, for instance. Is there any testing on that? Without pre-trained, yeah. Using CNN for the custom-made CNN, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And typically, the model like the YBhg 16 has been developed by many people, and although you can develop your own CNN, that's definitely, but as I say, the process of developing this kind of the CNN model is very time consuming, take a lot of time and need many manpowers. So currently we basically just use some of the well-known the CNN structure like the YBhg 16 or ResNet or DenseNet to do the analysis. We typically don't develop our own CNN model because it's typically you will not get better result, and also it's very time consuming. And as I say, as you can see, the CNN is best on doing the image analysis. So that's just the, so for when you are analyze the image, the CNN will do the best. But if your data is not image, like your data is the typical text data, sometimes image CNN will not do good. So image is so CNN is only good on analyze image data. That's our experience.
Okay, when you use the YBhg 16, there must be few others model, right?
There's many other models.
Yeah. Why YBhg 16 is chosen actually? I'm sorry.
Okay. So actually, they have other model, and this other model is more complicated. So it's take more time to run the model, also take a lot of computing resources, and also So and the reason we choose the YBhg 16 is that at that time our computing capability only can run YBhg 16, but now we have a more powerful computing capability, so we can run more complicated model. And
Okay, all right. So thank you very much for your answer.
Thank you too.
Appreciate that.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Huang, and all participants. We are moving to the end of this session. Again, thank you very much, Prof. Huang, for this very interesting presentation, and thank you very much to be our guest speaker of the day.
Okay.
Yeah. And I am returning back the time to the MC. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you too.
Just wait for one minute.
Yes. Thank you to Professor Dr. Guan-Hua Huang and Ms. Trijoyo Purnomo, PhD. We would like to give Professor Dr. Guan-Hua Huang a certificate of appreciation as our gratitude for your time. We sincerely enjoyed your speech, and everyone, please give us your thumbs up and applause reactions. We will take a photo with Professor Huang. I will count to 3, and please to the committee to take the photo. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think the committee already take the photo. Thank you, Professor Huang.
Okay, thank you to. Okay, thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Professor Huang.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much
Thank you so much
for joining us.
Okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will have lunch break before our next sessions. Please enjoy the lunch break and come back at 12:55 p.m. Indonesian time or 1:55 p.m. Malaysian time. Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Good morning. Okay, as we know that today we'll be having a pre-conference virtual workshop entitled Data Management and Analytics with R. Of course, we need a technique, to process the data. Okay, so this is where your data analytic knowledge must be in.
There is sufficient evidence to conclude that the students who do well in theoretical biology tests also do well in practical biology tests.
The practical and theoretical tests, they are directly related. Yeah, there is sufficient evidence to conclude that these two variables, the marks of the theoretical and the practical are having direct relationship at the 5% level of significance. Okay.